Just how secure is your drinking water? That's the question we want to answer right now, because according to one estimate, the U.S. needs to invest as much as $335 billion to keep the tap running. Deirdre sat down with Jeff Sterba, president and CEO of American Water Works, and she asked him about the value of water.
Should water be treated like oil? Is water the next hot commodity?
Well, it's certainly the next hot issue. And it does have commodity-like characteristics, but it's a commodity that's imbued with a real public interest and public purpose. So, for example, oil, you might own oil. You don't really own water because it's owned by the public. You might have the private right to use it. So it's a little bit different, but the fundamentals of needing to think about water as a scarce commodity is in fact something that we as a country and we as a world need to do.
How much longer can the current systems, the current infrastructure sustain the population growth we have in the U.S.?
Well, there's really two issues. One is the infrastructure that treats and delivers water, and then the other one is the supply of water. There's been a recent government analysis that said within this decade, 35 states in the United States will have serious water shortages. Now, they may be very limited, and people tend to think about the West and the Southwest as being the areas that will have the limitations. But just remember, 3 years ago, Atlanta came within a couple of weeks of completely running out of water. So shortage.
How is that possible, Jeff?
Drought, coupled with inadequate development of supply, meaning they don't have enough water storage, whether it's in reservoirs. And then the second thing is infrastructure. Do you have an adequate infrastructure? And what we as a country, what we're doing is we're adding infrastructure to serve new customers. But the existing infrastructure is kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Just how outdated is it?
Well, let's put it this way. The average, we are planning, based on the rate of replacement, we're basically saying that infrastructure that would have been installed under Thomas Jefferson before the Revolutionary War is about getting ready to be replaced.
I would think so.
And the reality is that's 250 to 300 years. There's nothing that's going to last that long.
What are the chances I turn on the tap and there's brown sludge coming out?
Well, unfortunately, it's increasing. And the risk is really, it's not one single thing, but it is water main break. So when you have a water main break, the first thing you think about is, well, some people that are in the neighborhood lost water. But the economic impact is much bigger than that, because you now have to tear up roads. You may end up having destroyed roads and landscaping and everything from the water gushing out. You've got another economic impact because businesses get shut down during that period of time. And then when you're finished, after repairing it, now you've got to re-sanitize that entire system. And so people are boiling water. So there's a lot of implications to the economy.
So how much then is the U.S. going to pay, either through government money or private money, to fix what I have to assume are water outages, leakage, main breaks?
Well, it really depends on how long do we wait before we start making the right kind and the magnitude of investment that's necessary. The longer we wait, the bigger it will be. So today we're running $50 billion short of funding. If we don't catch up on the investment, and that's per year, within 10 years it'll be $100 billion. So it depends on how long we wait. That's where we've got to exercise the ability of getting more private capital involved in providing this infrastructure.
Does this make bottled water then look more attractive to the average consumer?
I hope not. You think, and you know, I very much appreciate the ingenuity of the development of the bottled water market, but keep this in mind. We, as Americans, spend $21 billion a year buying bottled water at an average of $1.50 for a 12-ounce bottle. $21 billion.
Costs more than gasoline.
Yeah, and the amount of water that we're buying will serve our water needs as a country for 8 hours out of the year. There's 8,760 hours, so we spend $21 billion for 8 hours of water. We only spend $29 billion a year operating and maintaining the water systems that provide water for the other 8,752 hours. Now that's
good math to keep track of.
Just think about what we could do on the water and wastewater systems if we invested that $21 billion in infrastructure. And most bottled water is, in fact, just tap water.
Do you see water as an attractive investment?
Very much so. You know, I come out of the energy industry, and I thought the energy industry was such great fun and major issues. Water is the next big issue, and I think that it creates great investment opportunities on the infrastructure side and the supply chain that supports that infrastructure.
That was Deirdre Bolton with Jeff Sterba, President and CEO of American Water Works.